Welcome to DS Walk's Double Dribble Podcast, and you know I'm your host, DS Walk. Of course, you know it's me. How many people you know they got Detroit background in the back? Detroit memorabilia. You got the Tigers. I don't even watch no more because they suck. The Lions, you know they okay.
Not the White Sox.
But you have to block out the Red Wings because we don't know what they doing over there. And, I mean, Steve Eisman, I mean, the greatest Red Wings all time. He can't put a roster together. Matter of fact, his captain, best player, requested a trade, whatever. And then my Detroit Pistons. I'm sorry they didn't get on the. They on the wall, but you can't see them. 60-22, second round. Should have got these stuff, but that's here and there. Joining me today, y'all know who it is. You know how much I love family. Always gotta have family on the show, especially when you got family who knows more about basketball than you. Gotta have DeMario come back on because he's been lacking. And the simple fact that he invited me to his platform, lucky that I stand the hand of bite. I don't know what's wrong with these young YNs these days. What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? What's up, cuz?
Hey, what's going on, my young fella? And before we start, man, how you been, man? How's your show going on?
I'm not. I haven't been doing shows.
That's why I ain't been on.
Everything. That's why you haven't been on. I just trying to get everything together. Trying to be like you. Have my everything set up.
You know, it feels good when somebody say, "I'm trying to be like you." I mean, damn, I'm broke. So you got that part down right. No, real talk, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to have you on, man. I appreciate you coming on. And again, I always say, anytime you want to do a show, man, the platform is yours. Do your thing. All you gotta do is set it up for me. I'll give you the ball, just run with it. I'm not giving you the big man ball, because that's for me. I'm gonna give you the NBA ball. All right, now, but we got a good show for everybody today. You know, there's a lot to talk about. You know, the NBA season is over. The New York Knicks ended their 53-year drought. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Big Body Brunson. Shout out to Mikal Bridges. F those picks. Shout out to, you know what? Let me rephrase that, because I think I misrepresented the show and you and me, because I shouldn't say congratulations to the Knicks, even though they did win a championship. I'm going to keep that part. But shout out to New York. Shout out to New York. And shout out to Knicks fans. 53 years they wait for this championship. 53 long years. And remember, when we think about the Knicks, it was always about what can go wrong will go wrong with the Knicks. And I'm not going to run down that list because Stephen A. Smith, if you want to watch First Take, he ran down that list every time for the last 20 plus years about the New York Knicks. From Seth Curry went 7, the Knicks had the 8th pick. Zion Williamson went number 1, the Knicks had the 3rd pick. I can go on forever about the bad and the ugly and the curse of the New York Knicks, but this season they ended. I want your take on the NBA Finals.
The NBA Finals was pretty good this year. It was like one of those ones that I would say it wasn't. It was as competitive as last year with OKC and Indiana, but I don't know if I think that was one of the top 4, top 5 series of the past 7, 8 ones, because 7-game series, only reason the last game wasn't even good is because Halliburton went down. So, but yeah, the Knicks, that was impressive because as much as we always say, anybody that watch sports basketball, you always say like the Eastern Conference is not really nothing compared to the West. So automatically going in, I thought the Spurs had it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think the Knicks had a dog in the fight at all. But then again, experience come into play as far as that, because I know the Spurs were young, like pretty young, as far as they maybe had one vet that was like had constant minutes. So that helps the Knicks case. But yeah, shout out to them though. That was a good, well played series though. Everybody stepped up that needed to. Like Josh Hart not being able to make a three in none of the previous series, then he turned into Steph Curry. So man, it's just that's what it takes to win the championship. Everybody just chip in, and but most definitely shout out to Bronson. He definitely had a tough road because them Spurs guards, they guard hard, and he did what he had to. But yeah, them Spurs guards, they guard hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna say it like this. Number one, to all those people, all those fans, all those bandwagon fans, all those haters who said a small point guard can't win a championship. I guess they forgot their history because Isaiah Thomas, small guard, won 2 championships. 2. Jalen Brunson, and not only that, let me before I get to that part. And they said a small guard can't be your best player. I say it again. Isaiah Thomas, leader of Detroit Pistons, captain of Detroit Pistons. The man averaged over 20 points per game. Brought 2 championships. Led the Pistons to 3 NBA Finals appearances. Should have won 3 championships. One of the greatest 75 players of all time. 6'1". Jalen Brunson, 6'2". Small point guard, playmaker. Made his team better. Took a lot of shots, like Zeke. Did his thing, like Zeke. When it was time to put his team on his back because the team was struggling, Jalen Brunson did that, like Zeke. So this narrative about small point guards can't be your best player, the narrative that you can't build a team around a small point guard, Allen Iverson also told us you can do that. I don't know what else to say. Jalen Brunson did it. And he did it quietly. But he let his game spoke the loudest. I had said this. When Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks land back in New York, Jalen Brunson is officially the king of New York. That's his claim. No because doubt. He did something that the great Patrick Ewing couldn't do. The Latrell Sprewell, Larry Johnson led New York Knicks couldn't do. He brought home a chip. We talking about the Knicks won 2 championships in the 70s. Before I was born, before you was born. Nope. 70 and 73, I wouldn't even thought about. Walt Clyde Frazier was the Knicks superstar player. Their leader during those championship runs was Willis Reed, their heart and soul of the team. You fast forward 53 years later. Jalen Brunson is not only the Knicks' best player, and all due respect, I think Karl Towns is their most talented player. Mm-hmm. But Jalen Brunson is also their heart and soul. This team played in the spinning image of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson did everything for the Knicks. That game 5, when he bust for 45 points, he refused to lose. He refused to lose. He did not want to come back to New York without that trophy. They wanted to put the Spurs away. And listen, let's also keep it real. Game 5 was over with in Game 4. Mm-hmm. Game 5 was over with in Game 4. Yep. When a young team, arrogant and cocky as they are, and well-deserved, when you're up 29 points and you lose that game in the 4th quarter because Jalen Brunson went off, OJ Anunoby went off, Karl Towns, who's in foul trouble, hit some shots. Josh Hart got 2 steals. Mikal Bridges, who ever since the finals started and when the finals went back to New York for game 3 and game 4, the man was missing. He was on the milk carton, but he stepped up as well. Jordan Clarkson stepped up. Jose Alvarado stepped up. McBride stepped up. I mean, that game 4 killed the Spurs. That's when they lost the finals.
Yeah, 29.
Every game in this finals, they were up by double-digit points. Double-digit. 10, 12, 16, 15, 20 plus. And they found the way to lose. Because when the game mattered the most, the Jalen Brunson stepped up and played. Victor, I'm not saying Victor didn't step up, but I'm saying Victor wasn't effective. You can tell by this young man was tired. You can tell that I'm not saying that the stage and spotlight didn't get too big for him. That moment got too big for him. And then what hit Victor the most was that De'Aaron Fox was playing like De'Aaron Fox in Sacramento instead of playing like De'Aaron Fox, the man who wanted to go to San Antonio and win a championship. If I had to choose one, De'Aaron Fox hurt the Spurs more than Wemby's play down the stretch. But again, this game was lost in game 4. Because when you lose that big of a lead and you're a young team, it's not a physical thing. It's a mental thing.
Mentally, you out of it already right there.
Right.
And I had told so many people, like, yeah, right there it's a wrap. Because just like you seen in the series with Cleveland, you would think, like, man, they'll get them one, after they blew that lead. But
see, the difference is that when Cleveland lost that game, was a game 1, they had a 24-26 point lead and they lost. Cleveland mentally, physically quit. San Antonio didn't quit. They battled. But it was just they didn't make the plays they need to. They didn't make winning plays down the stretch. I mean, prime example, why is Wemby playing on perimeter and trying to block a Jalen Brunson 3-point shot where he should be in the post and manning the post? Stuff like that. The little things like that, that's not winning play basketball. And there were instances where Mitch Johnson should have taken out De'Aaron Fox and played Dylan Harper, because Dylan Harper, let's keep it real. They couldn't check him. They couldn't stop him.
Fire.
But you take him out and you put a Darryn Fox, or if you did that game 4, you play both of them, but you take the ball out of his hands. That's the problem. They didn't make winning plays down the stretch that will say, hey, they winning basketball time. The Knicks did. When the Knicks need to stop down the stretch, they got it. When they need a big shot down the stretch, they got it. When you see San Antonio, hey, let me ask you something. Castle, why are you taking the take foul so much time left? You didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Stuff like that is not winning basketball. The New York Knicks, this whole postseason, has dominated and mercy teams. The Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Philadelphia 76ers. And I hate to say it, and if it was the Pistons who got past Cleveland and they were playing the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, as difficult a matchup that would have been for the Knicks, they would have probably swept the Pistons, because you got to give Mike Brown some credit. He changed the offense. Everything ran through Karl-Anthony Towns. It didn't go through Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was playing off the ball a lot. And if you also pay attention, Jalen Brunson was running the screens. He was also some sensor screen. He was giving the ball up because he knew that teams were zeroing in on him. So what's the best thing to do? Hey, look, play off the ball. We're going to play 2-point guard. Well, Jose Alvarado's in the game. He's going to bring the ball up. He's going to initiate the offense. Jalen, you play off the ball. We're going to free you up So that gives you some better looking shots, and that would not, and you won't be wear down from the Spurs playing 94 feet on you. Those adjustments was what led them to winning this series.
Yeah, the coaching definitely played a factor, and we got to keep in mind that the Spurs is a young team just in general. The coach is young. This is his first full year as a full coach, head coach. Castle second year, Wemby third year. Harper first year. Now the only person, like you said, I'm very disappointed in who I thought was gonna step up, especially with his time in Sacramento, was Fox. Like, this is your time to show the world that you know that, because actually had a good series against the Warriors when they took them to 7 games in that year when Sac got their first little playoff run in a while. That was he actually didn't play bad, so I expected to see the same thing, but yeah, Fox probably was the biggest letdown because just okay, you see that you don't have it going. Like, you miss your first 5 shots as the point guard and as the vet leader. You supposed to think like, oh well, let me get Wemby the ball. He got 5 attempts. I got 10. Let me, like you supposed to think about stuff like that. But I think he was just trying to work himself out of his own slump. He wasn't even thinking about the team. Yeah, it was. And then, like you said, coaching Mitch Johnson, it was plays he could have kept Harper in. Definitely, when you hot, you got to go with high hand. I don't care who's the point guard or not. Like, you got to go with the hot hand. And I feel like definitely during that 29 point when it was dwindling, you got to call some timeouts. You got to get the young, especially with it being a young group. You could ride out a vet group. Like, on a run, a couple of times Mike Brown could get away with not calling a timeout for the Knicks because, like, they know, like, they've been playing together, so they know what to do in situations. But with the Spurs, you got to call timeouts. Like, you got to get the younger people back together because, man, Castle was distracted that entire series. He didn't play bad, but he was just distracted, you could tell. And it's just you gotta. Wemby was on his own. Like, everybody was on their own little thing. So, like I said, I feel like the Spurs is definitely gonna be a threat within the next 3 to 4 years because when you get that taste, you always want some more. So, and I know with them being that young, they definitely are gonna be hungry to get back, and it's gonna be interesting. Seeing the new players they bring in because, like, coming to the series, they said the Spurs are supposed to have one of the top bench, and they didn't even really rotate anybody out. What they went with, like, 8 man, maybe 9.
No, they didn't. I think who came off the bench, Keldon Johnson, their backup center,
and Bryant.
Sometimes. See, the thing I had a problem with the rotation, and maybe I should have said this in my last show I did, was that you have one guy on your team who has championship experience, and that's Harrison Barnes. Now, Harrison Barnes is probably not the same player as he was a few years ago, but Harrison Barnes can give you that veteran leadership on the court. Hey, look, guys, look, calm down. Let's take good shots. And look, Harrison Barnes, if you put him in the rotation, I don't know how he would play, but I do feel that he might have been a lot more effective than we might give him credit to. And the one thing about the Spurs, the Spurs are the favorites to win the championship next year, 2027. The Spurs is kind of like I say what the Pistons need. And actually, I didn't rephrase that. The Spurs are doing what the Pistons are doing. Is that they're using their best player as their leader. Well, they're using their best player to do everything. He had to do all the scoring. He's the leader. He's the guy that get the group together. He's the guy that he's the face of the team, and then that's fine. But what the Spurs need to do is that they need some veteran leadership so that it could take that part of the play off of Wemby so Wemby can do everything else. And once Wemby get used to being the man, being the face, being one of the faces of the NBA right now, but eventually the face of the NBA. And once he become an established young veteran player, then he can be that player where, all right, Wemby, you got to get in the guy's ass. You got to get everybody playing. I mean, we see him on the bench, coaching up his teammates. And when he does that, they come out and they play hard and they get that burst of energy. But that role, it should be going to a veteran player. And I know they wanted Darren Fox to be that guy to do that. But as we see in this finals, he's not that guy. And so, I hope they'll go out and get that established veteran player. And in fact, I hope they go out and get maybe 2 or 3 veteran players and just bring them off the bench. Good veteran players who can still play.
That's what I was going to say, because they got veteran players, but they don't play them. So it's like they need veteran players that's going to actually play and be on the floor to guide the younger players and not from the bench. Because, I mean, speaking from experience, like being on the bench the bench definitely helped, but it's nothing like having that floor leadership because you can hear more on the court and you can communicate better than maybe, those 30-second minute timeouts where you could get a little segment in, tell them what you see from your perspective on the side. But, it's nothing like that on court view. So definitely right about that. And I would say, yeah, with the Fox thing, that was definitely that was crazy to see because I would, but it's like, do you give him grace? Because you gotta understand, yeah, he's been in the league for a while, but he still is young, especially when it's your first time in the finals. Like, yeah, he been to the playoffs and he was in the first round, but like, at what point do you give like a player a little kind of grace? Like, okay, I mean, this was his first finals,
Well,
yeah.
Well, Darren Fox has been in the league, 9 years, I think? It's between 7 to 9 years.
Yeah, about.
And I put it like this. He's been in the game long enough to recognize bad play. He's a point guard. And we already said the point guard is like the de facto coach of the team on the court. So he knows when a player's playing bad. He knows how to get guys in sets, how to get them in the right spots, even himself. But Darren Fox also knows that, hey, I'm not on. My game is not right now. I can't be out here taking all these shots and expecting that I'm going to help my team win. I'm doing more damage than good. That's on the coach. But on Darren Fox, he had the opportunity to take advantage of certain matchup. Look, it's not like Jalen Brunson is an all-pro defensive player. So if you're telling me Darren Fox, one of the fastest players in basketball, that you're not able to get to your spot, you can't hit a bunny, you can't hit the easy shot. Every time I see you jacking up threes, and then not only that, you're blowing your defense assignments. You leaving Wemby in a bad position where he had to come out and on the perimeter and guard 1 through 5. That's not good. And just to say this, get this out the way. The Spurs came out and said Darren Fox is not going anywhere. He's going to his max deal. He's not going to get traded. I hope they're saying that just to let them know that, hey, we got your back. Don't worry about it. But Dylan Harper should not be coming off the bench next season.
No.
And don't get me wrong, it's good that you have a veteran player and De'Aaron Fox who's going to play good in the regular season. But your big three is Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and Wemby. That's your big three. That's the three players you're going to build this roster around. Because De'Aaron Fox in another year or two won't be there. Champagnie might be there. Danny Vassell, he might be there. But other than that, that's your big three. And you're going to build around those guys. Now, maybe I'm just a little different. But if I'm the San Antonio Spurs, I'll be engaging the trade market for Darryn Fox. I'll be trying to get a player or two for him, some veteran players. Because if you're going to continue to bring Dylan Harper out the bench next season, you're doing that young man a disservice. And that's bad decision. And if you do something like that, that could make a young player like Dylan Harper think something differently about the Spurs. Oh, y'all gonna bring me off the bench? Y'all just see me as a bench player? I can go somewhere else and be an all-star. Not saying he's going to do that, but he should not come off the bench.
No, they definitely have to remove somebody. And I don't think it's going to be Fox. I think it's going to be like somebody that they can ease more into. So like a Vassell or Champagnie probably lose a spot in the starting lineup. But yeah, I don't see Dylan Harper coming off the bench. Just because, I mean, as an organization, you know what it takes to keep stars happy, and the Spurs definitely had their fair share of stars where they had them at the same time, but also you done seen stars on their team sacrifice. Ginobili didn't have to be a six-man. Everybody know that. Mm-hmm. Ginobili could start every game for the Spurs, but he was willing to sacrifice. So it's just going to have to see like who's going to be willing to take that sacrifice. But Harper, he definitely has to start, and I need the ball in his hand.
Yeah, because I mean, his game is so smooth and it's so good. And I had said this. I'm like, look, if Dylan Harper would have came out this season, he'll be the first pick. But he came out last season, and if Cooper Flag didn't come out last season with Dylan Harper would be the first pick last season, this past season. That's how good he is. So, and another thing before we move on, the one thing I want to see the Spurs make adjustment on is I love their 4-guard lineup, and when they play with Wemby, I just don't want them to use that a lot. That should be the move where you use middle of the game or your closing lineup. I don't want to see them do that a lot because the Knicks figure it out, and they were able to counterpart their 4-guard lineup. So I hope this season they go out and they get a big 4, a stretch 4, and a couple of them, because I kind of think when they go that small, and even though they was out rebounding the Knicks, the Knicks were putting bodies on them boys. So,
what's the market for a stretch 4 though? As for right now, you think like what you think that look like?
I think about like a stretch 4 market. It has to be somewhere between what Lauri Markkanen is making to, I want to say, I can't say Evan Mobley, because Evan Mobley is a center playing power forward.
Mm-hmm. So what you think? You see them going out like trying to get like a Dean Wade from
something like that, yeah, something like that. Something like that. A Dean Wade or something like a Tobias Harris type player.
Okay.
Something like that. Or if you want to go bigger, someone like Jarace Walker or Jackson out of Philadelphia, or Isaiah Jackson.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. out of even Isaiah Jackson out of Indiana. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, not
He on
him.
the Clippers now, right?
Siakam.
Oh,
Pascal Siakam.
that would be nice. Nah,
Yeah.
that's the exact piece that you were talking about. That's a vet piece. That's a 4, he could calm the floor down. He won a championship already.
And he played both sides of the basketball.
Both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
that's a great piece, actually, right there.
I think he'll fit nicely over there in San Antonio. That's just my personal opinion. So I would like to see that. Now we're gonna talk. Now we're gonna go to the Eastern Conference with the Knicks, but we're also gonna talk about it's a combination of the Knicks and the Eastern Conference and the moves that might happen in the Eastern Conference. All these trade rumors all happen in the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks has an opportunity to go repeat. The New York Knicks is going to be the top team in the Eastern Conference. But what the Knicks did was that they brought competitive basketball back to the East. So what I mean by that is when you see a Jalen Brunson, when you see an OG Anunoby, when you see Karl-Anthony Towns, they're playing competitive basketball. Now, you couldn't say that during the regular season because it was up and down. It wasn't their usual season that they had a year ago. But when you see the level of competition in the East about to get better, and the Knicks are the standard bearer of that, the East is going to be – the East is not going to be a cakewalk no
more. But –
think about when you hear the rumors. Prime example, Giannis is going to get traded to an Eastern Conference team because he wants to stay in the East. He doesn't want to play for the Western Conference. On one hand, you hear a deal about Giannis. Well, the only deal is on the table is Giannis going to Miami for Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, first round pick number 13, another first round pick next year, and Kelly Ware. That's the packages on the table. And there's another young player. I can't remember his name. That's the packages on the table. A lot of, according to some sources, allegedly Mark Stein, all those experts, that's the package on the table. But they believe that that's the package that's going to get the job done because Giannis said he wants to go to Miami. Now we're going to rewind all that and say, hey, the Boston Celtics are now in this situation because what they want Giannis, but they try to do a 3-team package in which Jalen Brown will be shipped to the Clippers. The 5th pick of the draft will go to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis will go to Boston. Milwaukee, we get young players from Boston and the Clippers. More draft capital. Everything hinges on right now. The only holdup, and it's a big holdup, the Clippers don't know what's going to happen to Kawhi Leonard. That's the only holdup of this whole situation. Now, if you're Milwaukee and you see this, and Bobby Portis is part of it. If Giannis and his brothers is also part of the deal, Bobby Portis is also part of that deal as well. So you get Bobby Portis, Giannis, and his brother in both deals. So if you're Milwaukee, which package do you pick?
I would take the obviously younger upside talent, the Miami he got Hero and Khalil Ware, because honestly, my ceiling for Khalil Ware is all-star a couple years. I mean, it's not really many centers in the league now. He definitely has that ability to play both sides. He a good shot blocker. He can shoot, finish around the rim. So I definitely, in the right system, I can see him being an all-star. And Tyler Hero already speaks for itself. And Hemi Hawkins, he pretty good too. Like, you get him some time minutes, he can do it. He can give you 15, 16 a game. Play both sides as well. And then you can't argue with the pick, especially this draft. I mean, if you're the top 25 right now, you're not mad at anything that you're picking out of the draft. That's just to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm. Now, before you finish, I thought we got some breaking news in the world of college football. You've been keeping up with the Brandon Sorsby situation?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Despite a judge restoring his collegiate eligibility with a temporary injunction after he was declared ineligible for gambling, Texas Tech quarterback Brandon Sorsby is reportedly headed to the NFL. The NFL Network Tom Pellercio reported Monday the signal caller is applying for the NFL supplemental draft and could be the highest drafted supplemental pick in decades. Pellercio provided additional context to the situation. He went on to say, what did he say? After legal wrangling about his NCAA eligibility, Sorsby, regarded as a first-round talent, now could be the highest draft pick. This is also talking about how the Big 12 school, Big 12 and Big 12 school filed a lawsuit against Texas Tech about his eligibility. This goes back to when the Attorney General of Texas has said that they will file a lawsuit and sue, and they have warned and threatened the Big 12 if they take action against Texas Tech and Brandon Sorsby. Then you had the Attorney General of Oklahoma who demanded the Big 12 to take action against Texas Tech and Brandon Sorsby. Now, when you have schools talking about or thinking about not playing Texas Tech in your own conference because of this situation, when you have, who was it, Georgia and Nebraska, who said they would not play Texas Tech at all. And then before then, when you had that judge in Texas who granted this injunction for some odd reason, I'm guessing he must be a Texas Tech alumni. And that's the only way he ever got that. But yes, Brandon Sorsby is heading to the NFL supplemental draft. Your take.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And I think, go ahead.
I think this was his. I think he was eligible. He just probably was staying in college, because the money is better right now.
Yeah, he was eligible to go to the NFL draft. This is his 5th year. And I think the man was making about $6+ million.
That's why you're gonna see a lot of more players stay because think about it, the rookie scale, you go in there, you make, depending on where you get drafted at, about not close to what they do in NIL, man. Oh, yeah. Especially if you're one of those top players. So,
oh yeah,
that situation is crazy though. Like, he was gambling on games, and then they granted him the juncture to play. But we've seen so many athletes just shoot. Terry Rozier, he's still in jail right now.
Man, Terry Rozier can't even get that man can't catch a break.
He got a lot of L's. And he got that lump sum other $26 million from his contract because they had to pay him. Then they turn around and say, we want it back.
Man, Terry Rozier. That's the price you pay when you gamble and you're an athlete. And I say this: the worst mistake that these the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey, the worst thing they ever did was get in bed with the casinos and gambling because you really just send up your players up for failure. And this is what we get. College football, college athletics in general. Why are we gambling? Why? You send up young players up to go out here and make mistakes like that, and there's no consequences.
But it's been like that coming from when they got caught at Arizona State when they was playing basketball. So I mean, that's always been around the sport. It's just about the regulation of it, and with you, like you said, now you could. There's so many sports books out here and stuff. You could bet on somebody who gonna get home the fastest or something now. Like it's so many. It's crazy how much stuff you could bet on and so many ways and varieties you can bet on and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but sports bet been going on for a long time in all sports. It just been low key, illegal behind the scenes. But now it's legal. Former players, current players, don't matter pro or collegiate, they don't care. All they care about if they win, they get the money. And that's what it's all about. And that's why I said they set you guys up for failure because you gotta know. I mean, you have to know as a commissioner, as an owner, as a coach. You know your players. You know the ones who are going to take a chance to go out here and going to try and place a bet. I mean, how many times, and we know in boxing it's not a problem with, but how many times we seen Floyd Mayweather place a bet on himself for winning, and we see after this match he get a trunk case full of money. You think these young players don't see that? Come on. But Brandon Sorsby is going to the NFL. Now the question is, what team is actually going to draft him? I would not be surprised if it was the Cleveland Browns.
And the mess over there that they got.
Oh, man. That's so sad. Or, hey, maybe the Green Bay Packers. They starting that Jordan Clark, that Jordan, what's my man named?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love clock. Or maybe be the Rams. I mean, they got everything else.
Nah, the Rams just, they wasted their 13th pick on
Ty Simpson.
Yeah. I'm a big road Ty, but I wasn't high on Ty. I'm never high on our quarterbacks. We never really had like a standout quarterback besides Hurts, and he really didn't even finish his time at Alabama. So I mean, Tua, but yeah, we never really had. Alabama is not known for quarterbacks, more for wide receivers, defensive players, definitely, and linemen and running backs. We're not really.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. Quarterbacks. Let me ask you something. So why you not so high on Ty Simpson?
Because I watched him throughout the year, and I just feel like not 13. Maybe in the second round, a little later in. They wasted the pick on that. They could have got something way more valuable, and they could have did, especially if you knew you was about to move for Myles Garrett. Like you got to do something that's moving a needle with that. Like you can't, because what do drafting Ty Simpson do right now for the Rams?
He will sit for about a year and a half or two. I'm going to say he'll sit this year and next year.
Yeah, because they just gave his Stafford an extension.
That 1 year, $55 million contract. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say probably by his third year, he'd be the starting quarterback.
And who knows what that look like?
Well, not only that, we don't know who will be there offensively. We know Myles Garrett going to be there.
Right.
But, as a matter of fact, what is your thoughts on the Myles Garrett trade?
I'll say it's probably good for both sides. Because I mean, even though Myles Garrett voiced that he wanted to be in Cleveland, obviously nobody wants to waste their talents in a place that you just know is not going to give you what you're looking for. So I just think it's good for both sides because versus from Ohio, so he kind of get to play more in front of family. So the trade kind of worked out for both sides because I mean you're not losing. I'm not saying Jared Verse is Myles Garrett, but it's not like the drop off is tremendously, like the gap is not too much, and he's way younger, so you can. I mean, who's to say they didn't help develop Myles Garrett into the better player? Obviously, that's just a freak athlete, but they could have had a hand in making him who he is, so they could do the same thing reverse. So it's just, I think it worked out for both sides.
I decided I'm still thinking about if I'm gonna watch football this year. I'm just being real, man. Because if I'm happy for Myles Garrett because now he's in a situation where everybody gonna get to see him play. Nobody, unless you're a diehard football fan, the casuals only heard stories how great Myles Garrett is. The diehard football fans, we know how great he is, and we all know that when our team play against Myles Garrett, we day before and the day of the game, we pray that Myles Garrett don't take out our quarterback. Me personally, I'm glad my team is not in the NFC West.
Man.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna be praying for the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. They're gonna need every prayer, and so will the Chicago Bears, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Carolina Panthers. I'm telling you, I'm not even joking about this. Myles Garrett is that guy. I mean, since he's been in the league, the man has 125.5 sacks. That's the last 7 years. Sacks. 2-time defensive player of the year. All pro almost every year. The man easily could have won MVP if we just on a better team. Sam Darnold, if your team if you got a team in the NFC West and Myles Garrett's there now, you better go holler at your GM. Hey, look, we need more offensive linemen. In fact, forget that. The scheme, when Myles Garrett there, I'm gonna need 3 guys dedicated to him or 2 guys dedicated to him. Because I'll take my chance on the guy opposite of him. This guy is not going to win games. That's the thing. Myles Garrett is the type of player where he will win football games for you.
Game changer.
Yeah, he'll win football games for you. Matthew Stafford is the happiest man in the Rams organization. And I don't blame him. Now, I'm glad Arizona came out and said he has no desire, don't want to play football. But if he ever did came out of retirement and team up with Myles Garrett, I'm telling you, I'm not watching a single
game. I won't watch a single game.
Nope.
That's just not fair. Like the quarterback gonna have 3 seconds to get the ball off. If that, no. Because you not leaving nobody on the island to not guard. You got to double Myles and you got to double AD. You got to. And the numbers, that's not adding. That's 4-2.
I'm not doing it, man. That's why I'm glad he came out and said he's not coming back. I can't do it. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying I won't watch a highlight. What I'm saying is that I won't be talking no football on this show at all if he would have came out of retirement and said I'm going to join the Rams. Nope, I'm done. But let's get back to this basketball talk. So that's the trade rumors for Giannis and Jalen Brown. Now, Trey Murphy III, it's been reported that the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons are hot and bothered, and they want Indiana Pacers, your team, of course. And I blame your mama for that, but it's okay. I blame your sister for that. I love them both, so I forgive both of them. Um, the trade package that's rumored that's been offered, it has been confirmed, but it's been rumored, is that the Pistons are offering Isaiah Stewart, Ron Holland, and draft capital. Also, Marcus Sasser. So you get Sasser, you get Stu, you get Ron Holland, and you get some draft capital for Trey Murphy. And the reason why the Pistons want Trey Murphy is because his salary slips right into the Pistons salary cap wise. It fits, and plus the Pistons will save $2.4 million if they trade for Miles. If they trade for Trey Murphy the third. So not only you get a guy who's only making $29 to $30 million, but his salary fits in and you save money. Now, why is that important? I'm gonna tell you why that's important. Because the Pistons came out and said they're going to improve their team through trades. So if you trade Stu, Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, and some draft capital, and by the way, they came out and said it won't be this pick. I'm going to get to that. By making a second trade, they will also address another need, either getting a point guard, another extra ball handler, maybe another shooter, or a stretch four. Now you're probably thinking, if Stewart leave, who's the backup center? And come on in, Paul Reed. That's that guy who will replace him. And on top of that, the Detroit Pistons are also, because if they're able to make this move for Trey Murphy, and if they're also able to make a secondary trade and get another important piece, a starter or bench player, they will also would try to trade up in the draft somewhere between 11 and 14. Why? I tell you why. Because they are targeting two players. Yasso Lindenberg of University of Michigan, Cameron Carr of Baylor. And on top of this whole thing, there is rumor that if they do this deal with Trey Murphy, their starting lineup would be consistent of Cade Cunningham at the point, Asir Thompson at the 2, Trey Murphy at the 3, whoever you trade for, that would be your starting 4, and Jalen Darryn at the 5. And another thing you probably ask, what about Tobias Harris? There is some type of deal agreement in place that he is coming back to Detroit, and he'll be coming off the bench.
Not bad.
Now, the whole key to this whole thing is nobody knows what the Pacers are going to offer New Orleans for Trey Murphy. And if they can beat that package that the Pistons are offering, with a returning, even with a returning Tyrese Haliburton,
they're gonna offer. They're gonna give up. Neesmith gonna be in there, definitely. They might look to move Obi Toppin again, just because that's a hot commodity. And some draft picks for Trey Murphy, because New Orleans, they high on Trey, so they gonna want something. They gonna have to either give up Nembhard, Neesmith, Obi. I don't think they would want Pascal because they got Zion. I mean, who's to know how long he gonna be there? So I mean,
well, they said Zion is not available, but they'll listen. The one guy they said that also is available and they wouldn't mind trading him, DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know Murray. They looking to get off him. He should go back to San Antonio.
I'm glad somebody said it. I'm glad you said that.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I like that deal? He is 6'6". No, excuse me, he is 6'4". I'm sorry. Long arms, long reach. He can play the point and the shooting guard. Works for me. So those are the deals on the table for the New Orleans Pelicans. Again, we don't know what the Pacers are going to offer. And we do know that those are two Eastern Conference division rivals, the Pacers and the Pistons. So you just only imagine that the Pacers looking at that Piston offer, oh yeah, we can top that. I mean, look, you just said Obi Toppin, Neesmith. Neesmith is very regarded as a 3-and-D guy.
Mm-hmm.
Obi Toppin, he is viewed as a starter. He just needed an opportunity somewhere. And the Pelicans, with the one thing that the Pacers might have against them is that the Pelicans finally came out and said they would like a draft pick in this year's draft. So that might be that one thing that might work against them. But at the same time, it's not like they can't get a third team involved. So keep an eye on that one. But the one thing, though, we all got to assume is that once the Giannis trade go down, there's going to be a domino effect. I mean, there's a lot of guys that's on the trading block. I mean, pick them.
I think once that first, just like you said, once that first piece fall, everything else gonna fall into place.
Oh,
and I wouldn't be surprised if the first piece is Ja. I'm telling you, like, I think Memphis been trying to work behind the scenes, especially with people not having interest in giving them a draft pick. But I think they really want to get off. They want a fresh start because they traded Bane, they traded JJ. Yeah, they just trying to dump everybody and start over. They like what they see in Jalen Wells and Coward and Zach Edey, so they want to build around that. So Ja, to me, Ja gone before, if not before draft night, like a little bit after. I don't know.
I would like to see Ja in Miami. In fact, I would like to see the Grizzlies try and get involved and make a 3-team deal with Miami, Milwaukee. I'll have Ja and Giannis in Miami. Just simple fact, because if you look at the Miami Heat, after this trade, your two most important players are going to be Bam Adebayo and Giannis. You have nothing else around them. So maybe recruiting the Memphis Grizzlies that, hey, look, we'll take Ja this contract, what you want. You do that, you have your big three. You do that, now you can go into free agency and find them and put the right guys around them. And look, I mean, it's not easy, but it makes sense. Now, if Ja don't go to Miami, I would like to see him go to Minnesota, just in the fact that we got Anthony Edwards openly questioning this roster going to look like this coming season or in the future. He's going to run a running mate. I think Ja will be nicely. I don't care if no one say, man, I'm like you. I believe Ja's still a great player. I just think he just want to be out of Memphis. He just don't know how to say it. He don't want to, because he didn't want to disappoint that fan base who supported him from day one. He loves Memphis. But if you see the way his play was already telling everybody he got to get up out of Memphis. You put him with Anthony Edwards, holy shit, that's going to be good.
Must see basketball.
Yeah. And another guy who we just on the train block, this is coming out of Denver. Denver is trying to retool their team. The only player that's getting interest from to be traded from Denver is Aaron Gordon, but the Nuggets don't want to trade Aaron Gordon. They are hell bent on trading Christian Braun, He got his extension kicked in. He has 5 more years on that deal, so they would rather get rid of him. But the thing is, nobody wants him. No, ain't nobody don't want his money either.
Yeah, that was their fault.
Yeah, that was just stupid. So while we got a few more minutes here, what do you think of Darryn Peterson calling his shot, only working out for the Wizards and not for the Jazz and not for the Grizzlies?
Well, I mean, you seen from his time in college, he's not scared to take a risk. Like he pulling himself out of games, and it's 20 minutes left. So I mean, honestly, I could say I see the talent because, like I said, playing 20 minutes and a man almost averaged 20 points. Just think about if he would have just played the entire game. Like he's so talented, but it's like you know, in the NBA, sometimes that your ego takes over and overshadows your talent, and I just feel like that's a slap in the face to all the other organizations. Knowing like it's always good to be confident within yourself, but then AJ is high, so not to like work out with anybody else is crazy.
Yeah. And do you think the Utah Jazz might throw everybody a curveball by drafting Carlos Boozer's son, Cameron Boozer, since Carlos is a legendary player who played for the Utah Jazz?
I think that is a good. I was thinking that because that's like family ties. The NBA is all about storylines most of the time,
Mm,
so that's like a great storyline. His dad played here, now he get a chance to turn over the new leaf. But it would be nice to see him on the board at number 4.
yeah, yeah. And what's your take on Tiago Splitter as the new head coach of the Chicago Bulls?
I feel like that's a good move. Moving on from Billy Donovan, which I think that was a couple years late, but yeah. I like what he did in Portland, turning that around. Like, it's not easy to get everybody together when your coach was like when y'all go through something like that in the beginning of the year. So for to have them in the playoffs and gave the Spurs a little fight, I'm not mad at it. I want to see what he's going to do with the Bulls, but it's also up to the organization to put the pieces around for him to work with, though, because yeah, the pieces just have to be there. That's any team, though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's today's show. Everybody thank Mario for coming on. And look, one of these days I'm gonna travel to the Midwest. I'm gonna knock on this young man's front door unexpectedly. See, we Midwest, we call that we doing some pull-ups here. I'm gonna pull up on his front door. I'm gonna hand him the keys to the briefcase. I'm gonna hand him keys to the Lexus, and I go do the show, bro. I'm on vacation. Only because that's my guy right there. Even though he cheers for the wrong squads, still my guy. But man, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you. I love when you come on because it makes the show a whole lot professional. But the people love you. The
Sir.
people love you. When I edit this show out and I post it to my page, I'm like, damn, they don't like me. They like him. Well, what the hell? But man, no, thanks for coming on, cuz, and I appreciate you, man. And keep doing what you're doing. Looking forward to the day you get back on doing this again, because we miss your show.
Yes,
Even though I
sir.
haven't been on it, we all miss your show.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
yeah, and I'll catch you later. I actually am traveling to the Midwest this summer. I'll be in the mitten in the late July. So hopefully you'll be around.
Okay.
You know, around the 24th, I'll be there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the DS Walks W podcast. I'm DS. That's Mario. We out of here. Catch y'all next time. Peace.